The long-awaited Update 8 Berserk update has arrived on Anime Vanguards, and now we're going to be talking about the tier list. Probably, in my opinion, my best tier list for Update 8 of Anime Vanguards. Without further ado, let's get started. But before that, a quick message from the sponsor of today's video. There's an insane new tower defense game coming out soon on Roblox with 45 plus units on release, not including the Evo units, but there's also going to be 20 plus mounts and 9 plus maps across 6 different game modes, story, raids, challenges, and 3 different unique game modes all on the release of this game. Now, if you can see my screen right now, they will also be adding 12 characters with insane cinematic abilities all on the release of their game. Anime Overload is also hosting an early access giveaway on their Discord, so don't forget to join their Discord in the pinned comment down below to get a chance to test out one of the most insane new tower defense games coming soon on Roblox. Alright, before I start, I just want to preface this by first saying that the basis of this tier list is mainly for casual play. This tier list is not made for infinite, for leaderboard, for story mode, or for free-to-play players. It's basically an amalgamation or a combination of all those things, right? It's made to be sort of like an overall tier list, the casual tier list that a casual player will most likely be able to relate to. Let's get started. Alright, so first and foremost, this is our current tier list right here. This is all the way from 0 to 7.5. If I miss any other characters, bro, just know that there's about 100 plus characters in AV. There's a lot of people commenting on my videos, why is Yuhabot number 1 when he's not the best character in the game? So yeah, that's one of the reasons why, again, if you're a casual, you probably won't even be able to relate to why Yuhabot is number 1. So now we're gonna start with update 8, but I will be talking about the current meta as well in a little bit. With Guts, we'll be putting Guts at top tier. Guts is one of the best units in the game right now. Full AoE, he can bleed, he can attack even while he is stunned. He has the highest damage in the game while he is in Berserker armor. He's kind of expensive to max out, but he's pretty cheap to play. It's only costing about 1,200. He's really great overall, and I will be putting him, in my opinion, above Aizen, above Yuhabot, and also above Jinmori. Now, the reason why I'm putting him above Yuhabot and Jinmori is because the Guts just requires less brain power to use, right? And it requires less setup too. You know, Jinmori might have more damage, but Jinmori has a ton of setup. You basically need to build a team around Jinmori, have a team full of supports to get Jinmori up and going, and then Jinmori, until he gets his clones, is only doing about 40,000 DPS, while Guts can be doing around 70,000 DPS, while also being full AoE. Full AoE matters a lot in this game. It's not just DPS, also the full AoE matters a ton. So that's why I put Struggler ahead of Monkey King and Yuhabot, and yeah, that's pretty much my reasoning for that. You know, also the bleed and repulse that he has is just really great. Yeah, if you want to, you can argue that Yuhabot is better than him, and Yuhabot is better than all the units in top tier, but again, this is a casual tier list. It's not, you know, for competitive play. Okay, then the next one is the Witch, which is going to be a support unit. I'm not going to be putting the Witch very high into this tier list right here. I'll probably be putting her right below Sakuya. Now, the Witch is basically a character sort of made for Guts, and on top of that, the Witch is really good and is also a replacement essentially for Lucy, right? You can check right here, her passive is, this unit is always treated as a positive element in any game mode that is buffing elements. Attacks inflict nullify for 10 seconds on hit, and if an ally is stunned, boost their damage by 50% for the duration of the stun. Again, a lot of this is basically made to work with Guts, but also made as a replacement to Lucy, and she is a better version of Lucy, and for that reason, the Witch will be put higher than Lucy. And I will be putting Lucy a lot lower in the tier list now, and this is because why have Lucy up here if there's now someone better than her? We're gonna be putting Lucy a lot lower now, probably lowering her all the way over here, because now there's somebody that does her job better than her and is also still obtainable. Then after that, you got Priestess Holy, which is a really great cleanse unit and also great crowd control unit. Now, the Priestess is the Battle Pass character in Anime Vanguard's Update 8. So let me read her passives. Attacks stun enemies for 2 seconds when attacking an enemy that is on stun lockout, which means because in Anime Vanguards, if you stun an enemy, they enter this thing called lockout or stun lockout. If you stun them, you can't stun them again after that stun is gone. So this prevents, stuns from applying over and over again. Now, if you hit an enemy with stun lockout, that will slow that enemy by 30% for 10 seconds, which is really, really, really good. And anytime an ally in range is inflicted with a debuff after 5 seconds, cleanses that ally of all debuffs. So basically, there's a lot of units in this update that cleanses you. So energy drain and the debuff that we got from update 7, all of these right now has a ton of counters because of the amount of debuffs, the amount of cleanse units that we now have. In my opinion, this unit should be higher than the Witch. And this is because 30% slow for 10 seconds and also being able to stun enemies for 2 seconds and also cleansing, all of this combined is just really, really powerful in my opinion. All of this combined is just really, really, really broken. That is why, in my opinion, she deserves to be higher than the Witch, who is, again, still a really powerful unit. But in my opinion, Priestess Holy just deserves to be higher than the Witch, okay? That's just my opinion. The next, we have the Falcon. Now, the Falcon is just absolutely broken as well. If you watched my video about, oops, I placed Rainer high, should be down there. The Falcon is also top tier character. Now, the reason why the Falcon is a top tier character is because the Falcon, essentially like Escanor, can upgrade himself to max level without you spending cash, basically. So for example, if I want to upgrade the Falcon or get the Falcon to max, I don't have to spend 100,000 yen to max him out. What I need to do is use his Eclipse twice, and then once he gets into his light Griffith mode, the one that's not the black one, I'm sorry, I'm not versed in Berserk lore, he will be maxed for free, right? A lot of people don't know this, but the Falcon also has really great DPS if you max out his passive. The Falcon of Light right here, as you guys could see, I'm gonna read this passive right here. Summons in the, okay, right here. Upgrade stuff to max upon arriving and gains 2% damage per thing sacrificed. So it's a sacrifice. Basically, if you activate the Eye Sacrifice ability from the Falcon of Darkness, you will be spawning a ton of Eclipse Demons, and those Eclipse Demons can hit either enemies or can hit your units. If they hit enemies, they will basically replace those enemies with a stronger version of those enemies. So for example, if it hits a red ant, if an Eclipse demon hits a red ant, it will just replace the red ant with a stronger version of the red ant. At least that's my understanding of it. It will increase its HP, but that thing counts as a sacrifice. If it hits your units, it will sell your units, and that thing counts as a sacrifice. And if you can get about 50 sacrifices over the course of 2 eclipses, you will be able to get 100% buff on the light Griffith, which will total to about 90,000 or 80,000 DPS, essentially for free, right? 90 or 80,000 DPS, I think, is what I saw. It can go to that high. Maybe the average that you're going to be getting here is 70,000 DPS, because with the passive not activated, like literally this passive not working, he has 43,000 DPS already. So if this passive works even just a little bit, I think his average DPS will be about 50 to 60,000 if you're not maxing this out. And then he also has one of the best buffs in the game, which is if your units are not branded, all allies in range by 40%. He will buff all your allies in range by 40% damage if they're not branded, right? If they are branded, they will still get a buff, but their buff will only be 20% because it will be 20% minus 40%. So essentially what that means is Griffith is genuinely one of the best supports in the game in terms of damage. 40% more damage permanently means that somebody like Escanor can be doing over 400,000 more damage. Since there's now a lot of characters in the game that can get all the way up to 1 million, I think Jinmore can get up to 1 million, Escanor can get up to 1 million, Berserk Guts can sometimes get close to 1 million. All of these characters, if you apply a 40% buff to them, will get massive damage boosts. So Griffith being able to be one of the best supports in the game and also being free to upgrade to max is really great. And that is why I will put the Falcon. Actually, after seeing the new damage of the Falcon, after testing out his passive, it's crazy. And I will be putting the Falcon ahead of the Struggler, but in my opinion, below Escanor, below Sung Jinwoo, and below these guys, because then now we have GG, which is a support unit. In my opinion, this unit is more of a support. He is a better support than he is a better cleanser than pretty much most of the units in the game. He is better cleansed than Priestess, better cleansed than Skull King or Skull Knight. But in my opinion, he just doesn't deserve. He just isn't good enough to really be better than the Witch or Priestess. I don't think he's better than Kazi Queen as well, because Kazi Queen can also slow and whatnot. So this is where I'll put GG. But GG is a pretty great option, a pretty great replacement for this character right here, I believe. Then you have Goblin Killer, who I'm not going to be putting in meta because he's basically like Usopp from AnimeDefenders. I'll be putting this character in great units, which I'll probably put him below Yamamoto. Now, the King is crazy because instead of debuffing him, debuffs will actually buff this character by the same amount that the debuffs that should debuff a character. So that's pretty overpowered. Debuffs cannot affect this character, and debuffs that is applied to him cannot be cleansed, because I mean, these debuffs will do no negative effects. The debuffs will actually give him positive effects, and you don't want those debuffs to be cleansed. This basically just means that if a debuff is applied to the King, it will stay on him, but that debuff doesn't actually debuff him. Instead, it buffs him, and no cleanse can cleanse the debuffs applied to him that are actually buffs. It's pretty complicated, and it might have made it worse, but just know that he's not affected by debuffs, and he's actually better off with debuffs. But that's not even where it stops. This character can also cleanse, right? If a unit on the map is inflicted with a status effect or debuff, this unit will teleport to their location, cleansing them of the status effect or debuff after a 3-second delay. There's a 15-second cooldown, so he's not as good of a cleanse as the other characters, but he is a pretty great overall unit. By the way, let me make a quick adjustment to this one right here. I said that this is where Skeleton or the King is. I will adjust his position and put them over here. Yuhaba is still going to be below them. Again, because this is casual play. And most people don't even understand why Yuhaba is broken. Essentially, Yuhaba is going to be top 1 and still is top 1 if you had rare units and you use his abilities, and if you had Monarch on him. That's why the tier list has him at broken, the number 1 unit in the game. Alright, the last one is Smith, and if you watch my video on the top something must-have units, he is the best support unit in the game. He has a vast array of supports he can do. He can make a character immune to status effects. He can make a character immune to debuffs. He can make a character have 40% more damage. He's just overall a really powerful unit, and is definitely way better of a buff than both Harukarin and this guy right here. He's better of a buff than these two, and yeah, he's the best support in the game right now, without a doubt. So for the final rankings, this is what we have right here. Kaguya is still top 1, Sung Jinwoo followed by Sung Jinwoo. Escanor is still in here, the Falcon, the Struggler, the King, Wonky King, Yuhaba, and Aizen. Let me explain. Kaguya is here because obviously Kaguya is brain dead. Sung Jinwoo is brain dead. Escanor is brain dead. Escanor can pretty much solo most of the game. Now, the reason why these characters are in these positions here is it's not because they're just strong. It's also because they're convenient to use. Kaguya is convenient to use. Escanor is convenient to use. Against shields, I know he's weak, but he's convenient to use against literally most of the game, apart from those stages with shields. He can solo rifts. That's pretty much it though. Gojo should probably be high as well. He's over here. Probably not in top tier yet, but he's definitely going to be in here, especially after that buff. Now that's pretty much it for this tier list. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And peace out, everybody. Peace out.